Hey, Tuesday night in Alaska, Total Schmidt Show. Let's do this. Total Schmidt Show Season 3 is upon us. Tune in every week. I talk to entertainers from all over the world. Singers, dancers, comics, musicians, drummers, blah, blah, blah. All kinds. Techs, even some cruise directors. Most of the entertainers I talk to work on cruise ships. If you ever wanted to know what entertainers do, how they get through their day, any of the behind-the-scenes stuff about entertaining, we'll talk about that stuff here, as well as we'll delve into some of the entertainers and some of their works, some of their albums coming up, some of the things they've done in the past, things you can look forward to in the future. All that stuff you can catch here on Total Schmidt Show. But either way, get yourself a pizza, a beer, some bourbon, light up a cigar, or some sort of joint, or whatever type of crutch or vice you need to get through the evening, and sit back and enjoy whatever it is I put together this week on Schmidt Show. Hey, it's Tuesday, Total Schmidt Show. Welcome. Look, I'm home. You think I would have been smart enough to tape the intro at beautiful Alaska, Juneau, Alaska, where I did the little bumper there. And we recorded this episode at the Alaskan Hotel Bar and Grill. The Alaskan Hotel and Bar there in Juneau, Alaska. Beautiful place. I've been there many times. But I didn't do that. I forgot. I came all the way home. Now I'm recording the episode or uploading it, and I need to do the intro. So I'm doing it in my kitchen, which is less spectacular and a little bit more dirty. How you doing, Lenny Schmidt? Welcome to Total Schmidt Show. If you're listening and you don't follow the podcast or you're not subscribed, please do that for me. I would appreciate it. If you're watching on the YouTube, on the short clip or Facebook or any of that stuff, thanks for being here. You can follow the whole episode. Look at the links below. You can join the website. You can get all the Total Schmidt shows. Watch all the videos for just $2 a month, $20 for the year. That's such a crazy steal. Oh my gosh, that's cheap. But there you go. Anyway, that's the deal. Tuesday, Total Schmidt Show. I talk to entertainers as I travel the world and entertain people. I talk to people that do the same. And I'm in Alaska a lot this summer. So hopefully I tape some footage this week and I'll get some of that stuff up on the videos. This week's guest is Matt Disero. We sat down and recorded this, as I said, in Juneau, Alaska at the Alaskan Bar and Hotel. Great place, beautiful place. Like I said, I'll get footage of that up later in the year. Matt's a magician from Canada. We talked about all kinds of stuff. I've known of Matt. He's one of those guys I've known for years on socials and through the websites and through the Facebook pictures and all of the a lot of the entertainers that travel. We know each other through Facebook. We have groups and stuff. And Matt I've known but never got to meet or work with, and we solved that problem this week on the Celebrity Solstice. Put up a great show, early shows and late shows. We had a blast. Very funny dude. We have the same agency, so shout out to artist Wes and Steve Smith, our fearless leader. I have to give him credit, otherwise he complains and makes it sound like I'm the bad guy, because that's what Steve does. But for now, sit back and watch the show. Do me a favor, follow the show, follow us on socials, Mr. Lenny Schmidt. If you're listening, sit back and enjoy my conversation right now with the one and only magician extraordinaire, Canadian, Matt Disero. First of all, I got these 58s. I also have like a Blue Yeti. You ever seen those?
Supposed to be great too, for one person talking.
Yeah, they're also, and they're good for multiple people, but not if you're in a loud area. It picks up everything. This picks up. I've done. You know where I love to do it is in Thirsty Cougar in Cozumel. You ever been there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, dude, I record there all the time. It's loud
With
as
all
shit.
that noise?
Yeah.
You
can hear with these mic, the Shure 58s. Pick with this.
Wow. So this background music, nothing.
You'll hear it in the background, but it won't be. Will definitely be over the top. I balance the levels here, and then I mix it afterwards.
Wow.
But and the sound quality is a million times better.
Can't go wrong with a 58.
Dude, it's
like, every bar gig you ever did where there was a 58 that was dropped in like a fucking glass of beer 10 years ago and they haven't replaced it.
Sure.
But it's still,
it's still there.
The quality's still there.
They keep it in a coffee can underneath this bar.
100%. 5 comics have hit someone with it.
Yeah, they go, here you go.
More than 5 comics have hit someone with it.
Jeez. Are you kidding me? Yeah, there's all dented. You know what I mean? The top of this is all bent. You know what I mean? You can feel the divot in your chin. You're like,
some heavy smoker's loogie from 3 years ago is encrusted in the fucking grate. Just going. This is another one of those good gigs. I can't wait to do this again next year, thinking it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, fuck. I gotta turn my phone off. It's going to drive me
Oh,
crazy.
I'll put the phone on.
You can do whatever you want to do. It's a bad news day right now for Americans.
Why? What happened?
The big beautiful bill passed this morning, so that was a.
I don't know a lot about that, but everybody's saying it's shit.
It's not a good bill.
It's not beautiful like they say.
It's not. It's beautiful. If you're rich, it's great. It's a higher. Basically, I haven't read the whole 900-page bill, but it's a bigger tax break for the rich. Basically, is what it is.
Oh, imagine that. Government helping the wealthy?
Yeah, right.
How the fuck could that be?
And then it gives them all a bunch of. But anyway, then something else happened with the Sudan thing, and they built that alligator. Did you see that? The alligator.
We don't
Alcatraz?
get American news. We're not allowed, right?
You shouldn't have it. You know what? I tried.
No,
I gotta
on
stop
social media, so if you post something to USA Today, to the Facebook,
Yeah.
when I see it, it says, due to Canadian government regulations, this is not available. Like, we are not allowed to see any news from the U.S.
You know, really?
Yeah, I'll show you after.
Okay.
I'll show you after. You won't believe it. What's the word on swearing on this?
Oh, you can swear.
Okay.
Nobody really watches this anyway, so. I got a handful. Like I mentioned, there's not a ton of people that watch it, but the people that watch it are loyal.
That's good.
And I know some people that watch it. Usually goes up every Tuesday at 6, and I'm late this week because I had Diane last week, so I didn't put one up this week. So I had to put them back. I felt bad. You know what? So, how do you pronounce your last name? Disero? Disero.
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 The cruise director's been mispronouncing it every single time.
Really?
Even though I spell it phonetically backstage, dis-air, like A-I-R,
Arrow.
-O.
Well, you just go arrow.
Arrow.
Disero.
Disero.
Yeah.
Right? Nope. It's impossible. They can't fucking.
What are they calling?
I'm going to start calling myself Steve Smith.
You know what? We should all do that. We should all call ourselves Steve Smith.
Do you know, I was working with Steve and this Asian cruise director. She's Asian, but like Asian, like she does not have a good grasp of the English language at all, right?
Oh, right.
And so she comes out and she's, this is going to sound racist because I'm doing the voice, but I swear this is how it was. She goes, whatever she's talking about, and she goes, and now, here it is, a comedy Steve. So forever on Facebook, he was Comedy Steve.
I'm going to start calling him Comedy Steve now.
Oh yeah, if he starts calling me Carl, he's going back to being
Comedy Steve, yeah.
Oh,
I can't keep moving. My angle's not working.
do I look fat? That's important.
No, I put the thinner on.
That's good.
I got the thin filter on you and the heavy filter on me.
That's nice. That's the way it should be. Things sound okay? Sounds all right, as long as it sounds okay. For radio.
We're in Juneau, and I'm going to take some shots of this place. Well, let me do it now. I got my camera on me. What the hell?
You got the time.
Got plenty of time. What am I going to do? I got 2 shows tonight.
There's a stage here with a fully naked women framed in the background.
Oh, right.
Around with some American flags. Right? Nothing says America like a half-naked woman, I feel. There's the Stars and Stripes
Definitely
here.
like Old West. It's like if somebody came in here right now, these 2 people would duck their head and hide behind the bar. And look at this place. I recorded a couple episodes here years ago, and they didn't come out well.
You know what you should do? You should record Mad Dog Tannen here.
Who?
You know, Mad Dog from Back to the Future 3. Mad Dog Tannen. Right. Check your iron, Tannen.
Perfect.
All right,
man. So Toronto. So you're here this week and next week.
Here, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, all summer. All summer.
I would love that. That's a great setup.
It is a great setup.
I'm close to having that. I got the summit now after this. So I get the summit for the next 3 months till November. And
But
then
you're home. You're home in between, right? Like
I'm home, but I do because after I book after this I go home I'm actually home for 4 days. Then I leave for a week and I'm home for a day, but then I'm gone for 6 weeks.
Jesus, 6 weeks.
And 6 weeks is 2 of these, and then a carnival in between.
Wow.
Spirit.
Yeah.
In fact, I do an overnight
Doing a
here.
carnival in between.
Yeah, it's
Because you want to up the living conditions.
Yeah, I try not to make too much fun of carnival on here.
No, I would never.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious.
I don't know, but they have me. I'm overnighting here. I get off their ship, the Summit,
and you're overnighting
and go over to the I go over there.
That joint's haunted, eh? Did you know that?
Everyone tells me. I've stayed there a couple of times.
Yeah, it's totally haunted. You can feel it. Things move.
No, it's one of those weird hotels where you go to. You definitely has that feel of the Old West. You know what I mean? It's like and it's always laid out weird, where it makes no sense. Where an outlet's up here, you know.
So like every cabin I've ever been in my life. Where's the plug? It's next to the washroom, but I want to watch the fucking phone in bed.
Or there's like 4 plugs next to each other. Like that makes no.
I now bring 2 10-foot extension cables, just to plug in my phone so I can watch YouTube in bed. Like, How bad is it?
Yeah, how much freedom is that really? If you're still somehow tethered to the wall,
I wake up all tied to the fucking cables. It's pathetic.
all rolled up.
Yeah. I'm just hoping the guy comes in.
Do you have to call for room service? Hey, well, yeah, can we help you? Yeah, can you send anyone up here to unroll me?
It wasn't this cruise line, but it was another cruise line. I believe I got drugged, but the other comic was like it was bad fish.
Okay.
But I believe I was drugged because
Okay.
I know I used to have a drug issue, and I certainly know what ketamine feels like.
Okay.
And it was bad.
So you obviously were on something.
I was on something.
Right.
Barely made it back to the ship, sweating all night, throwing up, and then I pass out for 12 hours, and I wake up, and I'm still a mess. And I pick up the phone, and I'm trying to call medical,
Right.
but no one answered. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm fucking hitting the wrong button. So I start hitting all the buttons. And you know what happens when you hit all the buttons?
What?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody comes. So I had to go to Stephen Thomas's room, and I'm banging like I need water. Like I was so dehydrated.
Right.
Like I need water. It turns out I was not banging on his room.
Okay.
I don't know whose room it was, but they didn't have any water.
Okay.
Like I'm half naked. I'm in the crew area in my
Who are you?
underwear. Yeah, it was wild.
It's like 3 Filipinos standing there staring at
Yeah.
you.
So I can tell you the place in Grand Cayman not to eat. That I can fucking assure you of. Anyways, so yeah, it's good to be up here. Listen, of all the places, Alaska is my favorite. Would you not agree? Like
I
it's
love
the best
Alaska
run.
100%.
My phone works all the time. The food is safe-ish.
Yeah. Well, I think the crowds are better too, man.
Yeah.
Overall,
yeah.
I think so. Well, I mean, you know what? There used to be a thing. I was talking to someone about this before. I don't know. Before COVID, it seemed like the crowds were way older and a little more tighter.
Yes.
And then
I
after
agree.
COVID, it kind of changed, and it changed on all the lines on some level, to where it seems like there's a lot younger crowd. I see more kids on these cruises now than I did. I never saw
That's
kids on
true.
an Alaskan cruise before.
And then we sail from Vancouver. There's usually a lot of Asians,
Sure.
so a little bit of language problem,
Yeah.
but not much. Lots of kids, but I can deal with that doing magic. I always have a couple things for the kids, and it's actually endearing. Like I open my show with this thing with a kid, just to kind of kiss ass to the audience.
Sure, that's a good move always.
Yeah. If you can do something with the kids, it makes you seem like a human.
Yeah.
So I fool them.
Plus, the kid's happy, parents are thrilled.
Oh yeah,
You win.
This one guy was like a cartel. He was like El Chapo.
Oh, jeez.
Sees me in the bar,
Now
and
you
he's
did it
like,
right.
hey, you made my daughter the star. I'm going to buy you. And I'm like, I can't have a drink. You know, I'm not allowed to be taking drinks from passengers. No, you will. And it's like, what are you gonna do? And El Chapo's telling you to do something, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had to have the drink, but you could just tell it made his cruise that his
Right.
daughter was up. It was a big deal. So. Yeah, it's kind of fun to have the kids. It doesn't bother me. For you, it might be a little more challenging. Like 7 and 9, you probably got kids in there. You got to watch what.
No,
you
it's
say and do.
if you come into one of them tonight. I used to work with and teach kids in around that age range. I taught
really?
a comedy class. I taught them improv. We did this show. It was basically at my daughter's school. I always talk about it, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But it was K through 8, and a bunch of kids took this class. I took whatever talent they had and they wanted to do, and we put it together into a comedy show. And that was it. So I've always worked with little kids. So I like talking to kids from the stage. I'll do it a lot. I won't bring them on stage anymore. I used to, but I just don't do it. But I mess with them from the stage, or I'll talk to them from the stage.
That's cool. And the rest of the material, topics and stuff is no issue.
No, for the mode, I'm in pretty good. No, I haven't any problem. The adult show's one thing, of course, and then the family show's easy because I do a lot of stuff about my daughters. Then I'll do some stuff about being on the ship.
Family and ship. That's all you need.
It's the greatest. And like what I learned with the kid when I learned with the kids. Again, if the kid feels good and is happy, the parents
whole
thrilled.
crowd.
Yeah, the crowd's good. That parent's happy, and every other parent's happy.
Yep.
And now you're scoring points there. It's always a good thing. Plus, it's the easiest way to work with kids. The easiest way you do exactly you're like textbook.
Yep.
You give the kid the upper hand going from the get-go.
All
it's
the way
like
through,
you are the
and
butt
then-
of the joke somehow.
And then at the end, she produces that thing from the bag.
Yeah.
And it's like a huge moment for the kid because you see the look on their face. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you threw it in the bag. So, yeah, I think it just works. It's a little, it's not hack. No, it might be, there might be a little bit of hackosaurus in there. But
it's a different style. I always it's
it's a different style of hack.
It's a different style of hack. No, I think as an art form to be able to work with the kid, make it look funny and not forced. I've seen plenty of
that's true.
people bring a kid up, and it's just all right, whatever, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, sometimes it's true.
Plus, a lot of it depends on the kid. And that night I saw you, that kid was dynamite. I saw the little girl with the dark hair, with the black hair.
Oh, yeah, she was dynamite.
Oh, my God. She
the
just
trick
kept
is
pointing.
the younger the kid, for me, the better.
Oh, she was so good.
And I always, I point. I'm like, hey, it's here in the air. And then, I got that thing where I'm like, no, don't grab my finger. That's a different magic trick.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And it's just fun. But you're right. Some guys don't know how to work with. But it took me a long time to learn how to work with kids. It came from comedy clubs. So
sure.
It took me probably 2 years to figure out how to. Once I realized I needed to have a kid on stage to endear myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I better learn how to. And so all the magicians I knew who were like family entertainers, I'm like, okay, tell me everything you know.
Right.
And I didn't really listen all that much. Still learning, but I'm figuring it out. I'm getting better with them. I think I'm getting better with the kids. Because I'll be like, I'll be like, it's okay to, you divorced? I'm divorced. It's okay to be divorced.
That's a funny line.
It's okay. You got to let it out.
Yeah.
I just lean right into it. And the kids always look at you like you're an idiot.
Yeah, they're clueless.
Yeah, they're clueless.
No, but you walk the line perfectly of that adult innuendo. Divorce is a great example of that. A 4-year-old kid's not going to know what you're talking about.
But no, $300,000 and half the house. It's okay.
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
let
great.
it go. But I say that, and they always look at you like, what? If you don't let it out, it'll fester inside and turn into a mental illness.
Yeah, that's not good. Listen to me. I had to go away a long time to learn that lesson.
And then the beauty is, at any time anything happens throughout the show, I just get to go, you're looking at me like my ex-wife used to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you just bring it back. But I don't think it's that hard to. I think the hardest thing about the thing about learning to work with kids, I think the easiest lesson is, and this is the hardest lesson for a solo entertainer on a stage, is to let go of your ego.
Yes, 100% correct.
Right. You got to let go of your ego.
And if they get a bigger laugh than you got to be like, all right.
That's
man,
the point.
It's all yours. Because all people remember is the big laugh.
Sure. They'll just remember he killed. And it won't, and every once in a while somebody will say something like, she was funnier than you were. And you're like, yeah, I set it up that way. That was the whole point. That was
I had a kid whose hand was covered in butter, from eating popcorn. That's on another cruise line. So I go to hand him a piece of fake sushi, but I'm like, is your hand covered in butter? And I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah. I go, okay, put the sushi in the other hand. I go, take your hand and rub it across your chest. Rub it, right? So it's like a huge laugh. And I go, okay, that seems... There you go. And then I just go, and now take the other hand. And before I can say anything, he wipes it on his ass. Right? So a much bigger laugh than my laugh.
Of course, yeah.
But all people remember is the huge laugh with the kid with the dirty hands. It's like, okay, yeah, take it.
Yeah.
All yours. I don't care.
Yeah. And let it ride out. No, you know what I mean? Give him the upper hand. Go.
Yes, that kills time.
Yeah.
This is the name of the game is killing 40. We got to kill 45 minutes, kids. Whatever you got to do.
Touche, little man. You've gotten me. You've gotten me yet again.
And when they leave, it gets harder.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Now what do I do for 35 minutes?
Gotta talk. You can't drink on stage. It's a mess.
It's a long time with no booze or nothing. Or cigarettes. Holy cow.
There's I know without a smoke especially. We'll be stopping this so I can have a smoke.
I remember when I used to smoke. I remember.
There's a comic who... Okay, I can't say the name. I can't say the name.
Okay.
But, so... I'll say Kevin Jordan is working with this comic. Okay?
All right.
And he's like, do you know this person? I go, yeah, of course I know that person. And he goes, do you know how much time they have? And I go, no, I haven't worked with them in 1,000 years. He goes, they have 20 minutes. I go, what? 20 minutes, the rest is, they have 20 minutes of material. So he says to this comic,
20 total? That's all
20 total written minutes of material. Because you only have 20 minutes.
He's been around how long?
That's the question that Kevin asked.
Okay, right.
How long have you been around? The comic says, 20 years. And he goes, you've written a joke, a minute, a year? You wrote a 1 minute a year?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that seems about right. And Kevin's like, but it's not even a quality minute.
Did he say that to his face? Oh, that's the best.
Oh, but could you imagine? 20 years, 20 minutes. How is that possible? We got to have two different 45s, it's an hour and a half out here.
I know.
I don't understand it.
Well, I've seen, it's not so much a problem here. I've seen other comics. I know a lot of comics will come and go, I've got 3 shows or 5 shows or whatever. Yeah. And then you watch like 3 of them and you go, those are essentially the same show with crowd work.
I can do 3 shows.
Yeah, there's
exactly the same.
I can do, or I don't have I can do is the best answer for that.
Yeah.
Not I have the material. Now, how many shows do we have? Someone who always, like, when people wanted this gig in L.A., they would always come up to me and go, hey, how do I get the ship gig? Yeah. And the first thing I always say is, how much clean material do you have?
Right.
I can do like an hour clean. I go, no, that's not what I asked you.
Yeah.
I asked you how much clean material you have.
Yes.
Well, I've done an hour. No, you're not listening to any of the words I'm saying.
No. How much actual
material can you talk nonstop for say an hour and 20 minutes without swearing and be funny and entertaining?
Yeah. Not many people.
Like it's different an hour 20. They don't get it, and they go, well, that's stupid. I go, okay, well then it's not for you.
I told you the other day, right, in that documentary, where they were asking me about it, and this comic's like, I understand, I can do clean. I put on a suit. I'm like, yeah, but you can't talk about being raped with a fork.
Yeah,
you can't. That doesn't make it clean. But I was wearing a suit. Like some comics just don't get it.
No, they don't understand clean. Sometimes it's just context. Not even rape with the fork is. I mean, that's a leap. But even sometimes you can't talk about marijuana or pot or
100%.
Any loose sexual reference is going to be an issue. And now, especially any gender. I mean, there's a whole bunch of lines.
I make an upside down pineapple reference in the show.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard. I laughed. I explained it to my friends. I think at the time, I go, there's a thing.
The upside down.
Yeah, right.
But I have caught some flack for that.
Did you really?
I have caught flack, but I've refused to let it go.
Okay.
Because I'm a stubborn mule.
Yeah. Plus, it's the least aggressive of the comments.
All I'm saying is to the guy is he has the rope or whatever. He's pulling on the rope. He's tying me up, and I'm like, oh, it's just you on deck 6 with an upside down pineapple.
Yeah.
And those who laugh
get it.
But every week I notice more and more people laugh at that joke. Like it's becoming more mainstream a thing. People know about it.
I think because one of the lines just banned them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, Carnival did. What the hell? Carnival banned the upside down pineapples on
I
the doors.
didn't know that.
Yeah, they did
I never
maybe
worked Carnival
7 or 8 months ago. They made a lot of changes this year. They've been in the news a lot for a lot of shit. Not like Disney type news with the fucking kid falling off the fucking.
Yeah, but
boat.
did you hear what really happened there?
Well, I heard. What the story I heard so far is the mom was the one that put her in the little thing, and the dad wasn't even paying attention. And
then
then
they basically sat her on the railing, and she fell to get a photo, and she fell backwards.
And he dove in right after. So,
but the news made it sound like
he did it, right?
And that the railing was unsafe.
Yes,
but everybody knows like Disney is designed for kids. There's no way.
There's no way.
Disney doesn't even use me. I'm defending a line
right,
that doesn't hire
No,
me.
I've never gotten in with them either. Same, but 99.9% of the time on these cruise ships, if somebody gets hurt, they walk past a yellow line or went through a door that they shouldn't be in.
I swear to God, you can't even make this up. I'm out on deck 5 having a smoke. It's like 1 a.m. or something like that. It's myself and the other comic. And we're just talking, and all of a sudden I hear, bang! Like out of nowhere I hear, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look over, it's by the lifeboats. Something fell on the lifeboats, and then I hear, Alpha, Alpha, Alpha. Like, the captain comes on, they stop the ship. They thought somebody fell over, but somebody jumped.
Yeah.
But they hit the lifeboat instead.
No shit.
Yeah, but then they were looking all over trying to find this person. Like, and you know how when that happens, like every department head has to go running, even if they're in bed.
Yeah.
And trying to find, but dude was just on the lifeboat.
Right.
And I'm like, never stopped smoking. Of course. I'm like, oh,
you all right? You're right over
there.
there.
Okay, you're not going to see a cruise line for a long time, sir.
Yeah. Well, they start now. They ban these guys for.
They should ban them when they
stuff.
do, like when they're walking between balconies or something. They should. Oh. That's an Alaska earthquake.
It's okay. This is the Alaska. Yeah, that's exactly.
Alaska earthquake.
I would expect nothing less than this cameras to be shaky on my podcast.
This was the anticipation of what's it called? The big beautiful bill.
The big beautiful bill. Yes, this is the day.
Big happy bill.
On the same day the big beautiful bill passed, Michael Madsen died. I think that says something.
It was so shocking that Mr. Blonde checked out.
That hurts.
That does hurt. I'm Canadian, so this doesn't affect me, but I find it fascinating.
Who, Michael Madsen or the big beautiful bill?
No. Michael Madsen affects me.
Right.
Well, listen, so does your guy.
The bill's not. Well,
no,
sort of.
The joke in Canada is, America sneezes, Canada catches a cold. Like, it's true what you guys, so it does affect us. I should pay more attention, but my blood pressure is such that I just can't.
I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you. Dude, I got to start watching. I stopped watching the news. I didn't watch it all week last week with Diane. And just recently this week, I've been back in my podcast and some of the news shows. And I'm like,
probably healthy.
You know what? It's someone, I was talking to someone that lives and believes in
Our
this.
agent stopped it.
Yeah. Steve did?
Steve stopped watching the news, and you see how much calmer he is.
Well, I think with Steve, it was prescribed by someone or diagnosed, or someone told him you need to turn off CNN or whatever it is you're watching and stop watching the news.
Well, the best thing I ever saw, it was over COVID, and they went to, what do you guys have? You guys have, no, not how to write. You have Mennonite? Mennonite
Dutch?
Yeah, is that the people in America? They have no power. They don't.
Yeah.
Mennonite, right?
Very close to Amish. Very close to Amish.
Maybe it was Amish. So anyways, the news went to some, I guess, Amish or Mennonite community. And they're like, there's no COVID in your communities. There's no, you guys aren't dying. What do you attribute that to? And the guy looks in the camera and goes, we don't watch TV.
Oh, that's the best.
I just thought, oh, man, did I laugh.
What a great answer.
What a great answer.
Probably accurate.
I find it, the biggest indictment of media came from somebody who has no access to electricity.
Yeah, right.
Perfect. It's just
Right,
perfect.
no, it makes total. One of the bits, I don't know if I'm going to do it this week, but I do a bit about people getting along. It's a big part of what I act to my kids and how we don't interact right and all that shit. But, yeah, I always talk about the ships, how for the most part, after a week or two on a ship, it's like, just everybody gets along. For the most part, everybody's fine.
Yep.
I've seen completely different people sit down and have a beer, like it was in the old days, back when I grew up. You can
Yes.
have a beer with someone that had
Liberal,
completely different
conservative,
political-
whatever.
Yeah, he can even call you an asshole.
Don't
Fuck you. you're
don't
an
murder
asshole.
people. Don't diddle children, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, treat people the way you want to be treated was a big one I
Yes.
followed, and that's it. And everybody and you get your own opinion. You vote for who you want. I get my opinion.
Yeah. That's the way I liked it too.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that about ships because the one obvious, the one exception to that is the world cruise, because at the end of a world cruise, it turns into Lord of the Flies, right? People are like, "This is my chair." This is.
Oh, really?
You ever seen it? Like,
I've never done. I've heard of the world cruises.
Work
But
the tail end of a world cruise.
I've
and,
worked
like,
one, but in the
people
middle.
have cliqued off because they've been on there. I don't know, like 100 and something days.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's like, no. This is, you can't sit at this puzzle area. This is my puzzle area.
Oh, they got their own. Oh, this. Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God,
and
really?
I'm like, if I am unfortunate enough to get one of those world cruises at the end, the first thing I get on stage, I introduce myself, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know who blew the conch to get everybody in here all at once. I don't know where Piggy is, but it is like that.
That makes sense. That's so funny that people will get so territorial in that situation.
It's what happens in a small.
Dude, that's a microcosm of society. Put them in a little. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the cruises are only a week.
It's Dawn of the
10
Dead,
days.
when everyone's in the mall and the zombies are coming.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
and suddenly, a mob rules. It's that mentality.
Yeah.
You got to survive.
I know something's going on down there, eh?
No, people are starting to walk in.
Oh, for God's sakes. All we're trying to do is we're trying to do a podcast.
Trying to record a podcast that nobody listens to.
Nobody wants to. We got some of our. Well, there's 3 ships in port today.
4. Fourth one's pulling in now.
Really?
And the Legend will be here soon, too. So that's 5. The Legend will be here any minute.
Oh my God! And how is it we can't, not between the two of us? There are no other acts we know to hang out with.
I'm constantly amazed at that a lot in some of these sports. Sometimes I'll go on that page and I'll go.
Yeah,
hey,
the guest entertainers page.
I am. Yeah, I'm in Juneau I did it a few weeks ago in Cozumel. Another one. 7 ships.
How
are
could you
important.
be in Cozumel? Like, what else are you doing in
7
Cozumel?
ships, dude. We're everywhere. There was in the main port, the little port, all those ports. There's like all those ports now. And I go, hey man, I'm in. I got the whole day. I'm off tonight. Let me know who's around. I heard nothing from anyone. I'm like, you gotta be. Maybe no one likes me. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm not likable.
Possible, but I don't
Very
think
possible.
So. I don't think
I
so.
just met you, so you'll know in about 4 days.
But your reputation is very good.
Is it good?
Very, yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm surprised.
You surprised at the
surprised-
reputation, or surprised it's
No, I'm
not
surprised
wrong?
how many. Usually I say I'm working with such and such a comic, and if I don't know them, which is
someone
rare,
will
it's
go,
rare
"Oh,
that I don't know
fucking-"
one, especially one of the Artist West acts.
Right.
Very rare I don't know one of them.
Right.
But I'm asking around. No one had anything negative, not even a little negative to say.
Wow.
So that's a real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The,
then you're
the Canadian in me was pretty impressed.
That's good. Wow, that's a good feeling. Thank you.
Yeah.
I usually get along with it. I get along with everybody pretty much. You know what? Here, if I don't get along
There's
with
a few
you,
people I don't get along with.
with
but
you, well, but
I don't get along with them.
I don't. I find a way to not hang out with them. I just do that. It's an easy.
You just go.
There's a million outs. That,
You just don't answer your messages.
No, I do. You know what I do a lot is. Well, this keeps me busy. I'm editing this,
Yep.
or I'm editing content, or I use the kids like crazy. Once I had kids, man, it was like.
My kid needs something. I just say I have an illegal amount of porn on my phone that I have to get through before I go to American Customs. Because as a Canadian, if they catch me with it, they can compel me to surrender my hidden folder. See, he's getting something from his family right now.
And more bad news. From,
Oh, is it bad? Oh,
it's
news.
just stupid Trump news. I don't care about.
Honestly, like, my theory is, and I understand, like, the guys that just post like all day anti-Trump stuff, right?
Yeah.
And one of them, I was talking to him, and he's getting visibly red, and he's starting to shake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm worried about I'm like, seriously, worried about your blood pressure.
Right.
You need to go. You're not American. You don't understand. I'm like, no, I do understand.
Yeah.
Right. I do. But I also understand that you were going to stroke out and be of no use to anyone.
Sure.
You just need to fucking relax. Like, you're powerless to stop it at this
Well,
point.
this has been a systematic move to divide our country for a long time, where we're so far polarized that
Canada
we can't work it out.
Canada does that.
Yeah, are they the same way?
Same way, yeah. Liberals, conservatives. There's a big polarization between the two of them.
I have friends I've known.
It
I have a
started with
brother who won't
it
talk
started
to
with
me.
COVID.
You what?
It started with COVID, that divide, and it just got bigger and bigger and
I
bigger.
think COVID jump started. I think it was starting before COVID.
Maybe with Brexit, there was a little bit of that too.
With Brexit, but I
Yep.
think also Tea Party stuff in the U.S. for a while. There was a little bit of it there.
I remember hearing about the Tea Party. And there's a famous Canadian band called the Tea Party. So wherever people would be like, "Oh, something's going on in the States with the Tea Party," I'm like, "Oh fuck,
Whoa,
they
are they
finally
playing?
broke in the
Dude,
States."
sweet.
I'm like, "Oh my god, they broke in the finally." The Tragically Hip couldn't do it, but god damn, the Tea Party did.
Well, there was Tea Party, and then there was Obama, because we had a huge problem with Obama in office. Because there's a lot of racists in fucking the U.S.
Well, all over the world.
Yeah, all over the world, but the U.S. Not It's I always say like
You guys got a few.
We got quite a few, and they just hated Obama because of that reason. And I don't know. The big one to me was, I don't know if you guys heard about this in Canada. You probably did, but they held up a Supreme Court justice. Damn it! What's the word I'm looking for? They held up the nomination of a Supreme Court justice, and they did it to Obama for 10 months.
Wow.
And I don't know how they got away with that. And that to me was the first beginning of real polarized, not the beginning, but something I really noticed, because it was Mitch McConnell and the right and Republicans in that group.
That's the old guy, right? The guy who looks like a zombie?
Yes, that guy. He looked like a zombie then, by the way, when Obama was in office. But he
He's
was
drinking the blood of children to keep them alive or something like
they
that.
had to, yes, exactly. They had to approve. They had to have a hearing to approve his nomination, and he just refused to have the hearing, and then went on for 10 months.
Wow.
And I was like, how is that legal? How is that possible? But they just
So that's where you feel like it really,
I think
the wedge, the thin edge of the wedge.
That's where I noticed it the most, because I was like,
Makes
this
sense.
is completely out of line. That's wrong.
I started to notice
Which is
it.
a big reason. I'm sorry, big reason why we're in the situation we're in now. Because of that Supreme Court nominee not being appointed, we now have a heavy conservative Supreme Court, which is a big reason why a lot of the laws are getting all day today. I mean, they're meeting today.
Yeah, I hear
3 things
well,
they
as
reported
you know,
on.
the acts talk about this stuff and the laws changing. And a very good act, Michael Hawley, a juggler.
Okay.
He explained to me, I don't really know how your system works, man. I don't. So he just sat one day at the airport. We had time, and he's like, "Look, here's this, here's this, this overweights the Southern vote. Here's how gerrymander." He tells it all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know."
Yeah, it's a clusterfuck. The whole
But
thing
I started to notice things were going astray in your country with the Obama thing and the birth certificate thing.
Right.
And I was working in Hawaii, and I took a picture of me at one of the state parks in Hawaii, and I posted it to Facebook, and I said something like, Trump supporters would say I'm in Kenya. Holy fuck, did it ever.
Yeah, but don't they lose their
pissed-
mind?
Oh,
on
yeah.
social media? They
And I
lose
was
their-
like, but I didn't know it was going to be like that. Like, that was not my intention. I was just making a joke.
No, I know. Well, you used to be able
fuck.
to joke about that shit, and it was no big deal.
Yeah, not.
But
not
now you say the
I
slightest.
learned my lesson. Now I don't make any political.
No,
thing.
I have a lot of friends some that won't talk to me. Some that every conversation we have, I go, I can't do this right now. I can't.
It's too much.
Why, Lenny? Because you know I'm right. I go, no, because I'm not gonna. I can't. I
don't have the energy anymore.
And you know who's got a good point on all of this is, and this is kind of my point. Bill Burr has this a point, which is great.
Burr always has a point.
But this one, I like his stuff a lot. I like a lot of what he does. But his philosophy is it's going to be the same thing in 4 years, and they're just going to flip it the other way. And that's
100%
basically
correct.
what happens.
So you know what I find about Burr? Here's what I find interesting about my dad was a mechanic, an old Italian mechanic, and all the old Italians would hang out at the shop,
Sure.
smoking their Denobolas and fucking hanging out,
espresso or whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
But they all could very easily cut through the bullshit, and they were like,
Yeah.
"This is how it's going to happen in government," or more importantly, would be like, "Well, this is how to fix it. It's obvious." And Burr reminds me of one of those guys. He just sees he's like a blue collar guy.
Right.
I know he's not now. He's wealthy, but
Right.
he's of that, and he just sort of sees through the bullshit really easy because he grew up with it.
Right.
He's like, "Yeah, I get it."
Yeah, it's a total common sense thing. And then he kind of doesn't get swayed by a lot of the bullshit. But even now, a lot of people are trying to say he's...
You're a fucking journalist. Did you see that thing where he goes, I'm
Yeah,
a
that's a
dancing
great one.
clown.
That's- I
I'm a
love
dancing-
that shit.
I'm a dancing clown. What are you asking me for?" Right?
See?
Perfect.
No, it is perfect. And it's a great summation of why we're in the situation we're in right now.
Yes, you're asking
Nobody
the
gives
wrong
a fuck
people.
with Bill. Why? If you're going to Bill Burr for information, there was a segment from The Daily Show years ago where I got a lot of my news from The Daily Show. I watched it, and then I would go and research it. But Jon Stewart on the show, this was before he left the first time, where he was like, "Look, man," he goes, "everybody tells me that people have been saying that we're the best source of news on TV." He goes, he goes, if we're the best source of news, we're in bad shape.
We're in really bad shape.
We're making fun of everything.
But CNN fucks up the New York Times. Did you see the New York Times bestseller list this year? Did you read about that?
No.
I for the number of years I've been really disappointed with the Times, but this was like next level. I couldn't fucking believe it because I'm a reader. I like books.
Okay.
Academic, but this year's New York Times bestseller list, like 9 or 10 of the books do not exist at all. You know why? Because the guy who writes the bestseller list, he used AI to generate the fucking.
Are you serious?
Yes. So it goes to print, and then he's busted. He's like, "Well, I used AI." You used it. You didn't even fucking read the. They don't exist. These books on the bestsellers don't exist. And I'm like, okay, but New York Times isn't New York Times the paper of record in your country? It's supposed to be, all the news that's fit to print.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what a way for the Times to go down on this kind of bullshit.
Well, they're on their way down anyway. I mean, it hasn't.
Print is dead.
Print's dead, but they've been doing this digital thing. Everybody's doing this digital.
But nobody's buying because it's easy to get around a paywall.
Well, it's all about, yes. Also, it's just really about clicks, so it's not news anymore. Now you're right up there with the mainstream media, which is all bullshit. You know what I mean? Or 99% bullshit.
I was amazed to see, Glenn Greenwald, I believe to be a good journalist. You may like or you may not like it, but I find him to be relatively fair. And yes, he's, at one point he was more left. Now he seems to be more right.
I watch Breaking Points. You ever heard of Breaking Points?
No.
They're a podcast. They do. It's a longer story, they're big fans of his. I like him. So.
I think Greenwald's good. I mean, he fled America to Brazil,
Right.
But he showed the ratings numbers, right? This was a few months ago.
Right.
But CNN's ratings were like 80,000 people at prime time.
Right.
Between 18 and 50.
Right.
80,000
Yeah.
people? I have friends that I sometimes get more views than that on my videos on YouTube.
Right,
That's sad.
Yeah.
So, people's trust in the media, again, probably started around Brexit, then COVID, then the wars.
Well, it really nosedived after this last election because everybody came out because Trump won, basically. Well, not only Trump won. Whatever.
But he didn't win by the widest margin. Is that correct?
Well, no, he didn't. We're a 50-50 country. We're right down the middle. You know what I mean? He just won by a little bit. But to me, the biggest holdup was we're going to get off politics after this because I don't spend all the time talking about it. But I think the big.
Sorry. That was my fault. I probably started.
That was my fault too, because then I get into it, and part of it, some of it makes me mad, and I don't know why we just put up with it. Like the Biden lie for the last 2 years, which was they're like, Biden's fine, and every time you see him, like he is not fine. And
yes, there's that guy. What's his name? Coffee, the Morning Joe guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's the fittest he's ever been mentally. Blah, blah. And then the next day he goes to debate, and you go, whoa, this guy is
there was a
zombie, man.
couple guys in the White House who were saying, dude, you behind the scenes, this guy's up all night working. He's working circles around us. And you're like, all right, whatever.
Another comic said a very good thing, though, because I made the comment about Biden being in mental decline. Media's hiding it, all this stuff I didn't approve. He goes, but at least Biden is a decent human being. And I go, okay, I can buy that.
Yeah.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
I think he's probably a lot of things he did that I did not like.
Sure.
But he's, probably a decent human being. And then the flip side of that is, and we should end it on this, but I always end it on this if I can with my American friends.
Yeah.
Is, when people are like, I hate Trump, I love Trump, I always remember the first debate with Hillary.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, each candidate is asked to say something nice about the other.
Right.
And Trump was unable to muster anything nice about Hillary. But Hillary says, and they fucking hate each other with a passion. It's not hard to see.
Right.
But she's like, I think you're a family man, Donald, and I think you love your children a great deal. And I went, see, if somebody who's that much of your mortal enemy, you despise, we can find something good in anybody. So even if it's some shitty little thing, and then that way it avoids the argument.
Sure.
And so this is what I try to advocate for.
Okay.
As I sit here.
Right, that makes sense.
I'm a Canadian, so what are you going to do? I'm going to go home and drink my maple syrup, eat my poutine, and process the fentanyl that's coming into my country, I guess.
Well, you're welcome, by the way, for the fentanyl.
No,
we'll do the best we can to get it through as fast as possible.
It ended my Coke addiction. I appreciate that. The fear of dying of that ended my fucking Coke addiction. And that's why I'm fat now. That's why I'm fat now.
You're fat now?
I was on the Jenny Crack diet there for a while. It was good. I was losing a little bit of weight. Whatever.
Crack. I was a big meth guy. I did a ton of meth back in the 90s.
My Coke dealer, fuck, it doesn't matter. He's not watching. My Coke dealer refused to deal crack, right? Okay. And I was like, why? And he goes, it's a dirty drug. It's too cheap. It's too. And I go, I can see that. Meth may be the same. You know, everybody's got that same mentality about it. Like,
Right.
It's not a good drug.
Well, crack and meth, they're different. They're not the same thing.
No, I'm talking about the dirtiness. Like it's not. They're not a
is.
good. They're not a good drug.
Oh, they're bad. Oh, they're
Yeah.
real. I'm surprised I lived through the 90s.
I'm surprised you have teeth. If
Yeah.
you were
No,
if you
it
were really a
tests all
meth
of it.
addict,
There's a whole-
were you really using meth?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
surprised you
Like
have teeth.
crazy. Yeah. I did it.
My ex was a social worker. She dealt with housing for addicts, and she's like, I could always tell the meth addicts. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of times it was things like blisters on their lips from the hot glass pipe. You know?
Sure, yeah, right.
All this stuff. And I'm like, oh fuck. The stories are wild.
Yeah.
So that's amazing that you have teeth and you survived it. Good for you.
Well, it's a horrible, horrible, horrible drug that you could make in your house, by the way. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, you
just
don't need to be
chemicals.
Walter White to put this
No,
together.
you could figure out a shitty form of it. I used to live, there's a guy that lived next door to me that used to make it, and a guy downstairs from me that sold it. And the guy
Really?
next door would make some and come over and go, "Do you want to try this?" I go, "No, I'm not trying
No.
anything."
This is not one more cook downstairs, neighbor. We're not.
But I did it like crazy when we had it. When it was, I just wouldn't try any new shit.
What started it? You didn't start with that, right?
Huh?
You didn't start with that drug, did you?
Oh God, no. I was a lot of into. Before that, it was Coke and booze and.
The
everything.
beauty of Coke
Growing up.
was sorry, not the beauty of Coke, but there's a lot of beautiful things about Coke.
Yeah.
How you doing? We're just talking
Hello.
about cocaine on a podcast, as one does.
As one does.
How many times do you remember 80s, 90s? I started early in like 89, 90, but
Yeah.
how many times in America is where I first ran into this? Comedy club owner, you want to be paid in green or white?
Oh, 100%.
Green or
all the
white?
time.
How you want to be paid?
All the
And I'm,
time.
white, of course I want to be paid in white. I have little septum left. Let's keep going.
Sure.
Right.
It's literally the bare minimum of what we have to do.
No, look for the red light.
Yeah. It's just,
Both on stage and on television.
yeah.
Amazing how many comics avoid
Yeah.
the red
the
light.
red light. The red light.
I once saw a guy just going long. He's getting lighted, just oblivious to it. Then the guy in the booth takes like a Zippo, like it's a fucking concert, and I don't know how do you miss that, right?
Yeah.
And I guess he was looking for a laugh to get off on. That
sure,
was
of
the
course.
thing.
He's chasing it. Yeah.
But impossible to get because he's lost the crowd. Like at some point, you just have to admit defeat and go, "I'm sorry to waste your time."
Yeah.
Good night, folks. Like, I hope you enjoy
We'll
the
give
next
this a
night.
better shot next time.
Plus, the thing about comics who go long is I never understood it because they're
I don't get it.
stealing. They're stealing from the next guy.
Sure. Right.
It's just like at showcases, especially you see somebody and they're super killing
Right.
and they won't get off.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck off.
Well, they do. I understand. There's a club in the Haha in LA. Is a club, and Damon
What's
Wayans.
it called?
Haha.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah. It's on Lancashire. It's been there a while. But Damon Wayans Wayans used to come into
One
work.
of the many Wayans.
One of the many. But Damon would come in to work on new shit.
Yeah.
And Damon's technique or form of working on new shit is standing on stage and talking about shit for as long as he can until he tightens it up, which is what a lot of guys do. Chappelle does that. I mean, Shell's done 3-hour shows before. I don't get any of that. I'm not into that.
We've
I'm-
all been bumped for somebody famous who does that.
Right. Well,
It
this
sucks.
night I was at the Haha and he was gonna. We're sitting there. I had friends there, and the owner comes up and says, "We're gonna put Damon up before you. You go up after Damon." I go, "Please don't do that to me. I have friends here." I go, "I don't want to be here till fucking midnight. I have kids.
shit to
Dave,"
do.
you know, like- and they're like, "Look, dude, if you can get Damon, ask Damon." So, all right, fine. So I got to Damon. "Hey, Damon," I go, "What's up? I got friends here. Do you mind if I go before you? They want you to go before me." I go, "I'm doing 10, man, 12 tops. That's it. I'm out of here." I go, "But I just want to be here."
Please, let me.
And he goes, "Yeah, no problem. You're cool."
The best.
So I told the guy, "Hey, it's a great idea. If you go and ask him, he was nice about it because he knows he's going to be up there for fucking an hour at least."
At least.
Yeah.
I once got bumped for Robin Williams.
Okay.
He's in Toronto shooting. He wants to do, and I'm like, well, fuck yeah, okay. And you watch it and you go, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy is.
Right.
There's a brilliance, right?
Right.
But then the fucking club owner's like, okay, so you're supposed to headline, so do you want to go up and close? I'm like, are you fucking
Are you crazy?
I literally used the word retarded. I go, you retarded? He decimated this place.
Yeah. Why would you want me to go up?
Right? You just had Robin Williams. I don't want your money.
I got bumped by Dice once, and it was the heat of Dicedom. The heat.
Like 90s
Oh,
kind of.
it was. I was starting out. I was early on.
What year did you start?
I started in '88.
I'm only a couple years after you. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so this was right around. This is right. I mean, Tice was at the top of his game. Sam was still around, but Dice was the man. Dice is the fucking man. And he destroyed in the main room. He does the show in the main room. And I'm doing the open in the...
This is the store.
And I'm in
the OR. Yeah.
And I'm in the OR. I go, and I'm doing the regular Monday night. And right before I get ready to go up, he finishes in the main room. He's walking down the back hallway. He wants to go back up. So they come up to me. They go, hey, Dice is going to go up before you. And I'm like, okay. So he goes up and completely floors the OR.
Of course.
And then he leaves.
Dickory dock.
Yeah, it does it all. And he's just the king of comedy at the time. And then I go up after him. They go, yeah, go ahead. And I'm green. I'm not good. I'm hit and miss. Some nights I'm like, yay. Other nights you're like,
Yeah.
And I ate it hard that night. I ate it hard. And it was, and the
That's a
doormen
lesson. You learned a really fucking valuable lesson.
Well, the doormen were walking out. They just shrugged it off like, that's what happens sometimes. Like,
I just said on Greg Otto's. It's funny you say that about the hallway. I just said on Greg Otto, he made some thing about the store. I forget what the post was, but I go, every story that involves the store involves that hallway. Like it always takes place in the fucking hallway. Every story.
That's great. It's true.
Isn't it? It's wild,
Yeah.
eh? And now that Mitzi's gone, I guess
The only time I met Mitzi was in that hallway.
of course.
And she looked at me like she hated me. She hated me.
But I had I'm obviously Canadian, so I'm not down there a ton.
Right.
I had the misfortune of Mitzi hating me, Jamie Masada hated me, Bud Friedman hated me. Like everybody fucking. I got no.
Oh, at least you didn't have to go there anymore.
Randy Lubis liked me, so I could get up and I could go up to Ventura.
You do your one-nighter in Ventura.
Yeah. I got my $400. Thanks, Randy.
Sure.
That's worth flying in for.
Play for fucking 8 people having a shrimp fry on a Friday night.
Thanks for getting the sound right, Randy. Oh, he's gonna fucking see this and message me.
Yeah,
but he knows I'm right. But he knows I'm right.
Yeah.
You know I'm right, Randy. I just, I mean, as I was saying to you the other day, it's weird being a variety act in comedy clubs because the comics hate us.
Yeah,
with good reason. I wrote a book about. Well, I wrote a book about just the industry, but mostly magic. But it was like road stories and like advice about show business, right?
Okay.
But it was to raise money for, of all things, a magic school in Bolivia. These kids are broke ass and they can't get good magic props. I'm like, fuck it. I have all these things I want to say. I'll write this book. I'll put it up on Amazon. All the money, I'll ship it down to Bolivia.
Right.
Which is also a nightmare too, because everybody's beak gets wet. It's a giant nightmare.
Sure. Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But I got the money down there. We got it down there. But within that book, I wrote an essay called "Why Comics Hate Magicians." And it's very accurate. It's like every reason you don't like variety acts. The stock stuff, the blah, blah. But within it, I was on tour with Kids in the Hall and another comic. And we're in the van and this topic comes up. And I just, fuck man, he made it so cool. This comic, Graham Chittenden. He's a very good Canadian comic.
Yeah.
He's pretty famous. He's brilliantly funny. And he's like, the real problem is comics, they have a bit and they like massage it. And he goes, it's like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank, sanding down the chess pieces until it's perfect.
Yeah.
But you guys, you can often buy a trick. You can take an old line and maybe you finesse it. Maybe you don't. But it's not fully yours.
Right.
And that is correct.
Yeah.
That is very correct. I try and avoid that shit if I can in my act. But I am a slave to vaudeville. And there's a lot of old vaudeville lines in my act that I've updated or some that I've just... Matter of fact, Greg Otto comes up to me once. I work with Greg a lot.
Okay.
And then he sees me at the Magic Castle, and he's like, you stole that line about the monk from me. And I go, no, I didn't. And he's like, no, we were working together on Royal. For sure, you stole that line. Maybe you've forgotten. I'm like, I didn't steal it from you. And he's like, no, I've been doing it for like 20 years. And I'm like, I stole it from Milton Berle. And he goes, oh, yeah, so did I.
That's the best. Well, kudos to Otto for owning up. Oh, you're right. I do that too. That's right. My bad. Well, you did. Have you? This goes back to something we talked about earlier too. I never had a problem with magician because I was a stand-up and then went to improv.
Oh, so you're another pariah, different type.
There was the whole stand-up improv thing in Chicago for years.
Of course.
And I studied with Del Close he wasn't at Second City, but he started at I.O. And I went through all his classes there, and I studied with Del, and I did a bunch of shows for Del, and then I would bounce between going on the road and doing I.O. But there was a huge thing between stand-ups And improv's the both ways. Matt Besser was a guy that hated stand-ups. And then
Right, but they wouldn't call an improv guy a comic because they're not pure monologists.
Right.
Somebody said to me once on Facebook, they're like, "You're not a comic." I go, "If I make them laugh for 45 minutes, I'm a comic."
Yeah. And you call it whatever you want. Like David Cross is one of those guys that's really anti-stand-up in a way. He thinks stand-ups are, he thinks crowd work from stand-ups is bullshit because it's all the same
But
thing.
there is shitty crowd work.
Oh, there's
but
tons.
there's technique and formula and genius to it if you do it correctly.
If you do
I
it
don't
right.
do it well.
We'll see what happens tonight, but usually I'll do quite a bit, and I'll try to make it fresh. I'll try to find something that...
If it's done well, I love it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's what the audience loves the best, too.
Sure. No, they eat it up now.
Like,
which is
more than material because it feels like it's of the moment. It's of you.
Well, I almost feel like you're, for as a stand-up, I almost feel like you're obligated to do it now. And I always did a little bit here and there, and I always did some with the crowd, and would bring the crowd into the show and then joke around and play around.
Sure.
But I recently started doing it in the theaters. When I did the theater, I used to not do it because I don't have to do it with the headache.
But now, have you noticed all the comics almost exclusively post crowd work videos because it can't be stolen?
Right.
Because the big gripe was, I'm not
Well,
posting my material because it'll get ripped off on social media, so now they post crowd work stuff.
Well, my thing is, besides this show, I do a thing called Jokes in the Water. I'm up to 160
Jokes
something.
in the Water?
Jokes on the Water.
Oh, Jokes in the Water.
I tape every show I do. I'm not taping tonight, but I tape usually it's harder in Celebrity.
Tonight's different.
I need a better camera to do the theater. But
Ask Lewis Johnson about the setup for that. He's got the cheapest, best setup for taping your shows.
Really?
100%. Lewis is he's the man for, because I don't know nothing about it.
Okay.
And I made a post, and then Lewis wrote to me, and he's like, here's the links to Amazon. And if you've ever seen Lewis's stuff, it always looks good on video.
Yeah.
Ask Lewis.
Yeah, but we talked about this because they had him on my pod.
You had Lewis on?
Yes.
Oh, then shoot him a note for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy, and he is. He's really good that way. But he tapes all his shit, but we don't tape. We talked about this a little bit. The theater's different because you need a camera with a really strong or good lens, or you need to put the camera on the stage with you, which I hate. I don't like having the camera.
So the camera, I don't know what the lens is. I don't know. I'm not that guy. But the camera he suggested looks great, and then it's a tiny little microphone you can put in your breast pocket, or if you don't wear a jacket, I guess wherever. It's
I got that.
It's unnoticeable.
Where's the cam? Well, here's the base of it. That's the receiver, and
Yeah.
then this is the microphone.
Yeah, he's got something like, but it's wild, and it works really good. So
Yeah, there was something.
and
else.
I trust Lewis for that stuff more than
Yeah,
almost anybody.
and his shorts look great. And
Do
then
they
like
ever?
here's like my short. Here's a bunch. Here's a. Whatever.
It's different. Like the theater is the distance from the board to the stage is so far
Right.
that it's a
Look,
pain in the
here's
ass.
a clip from one of mine.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, and even better is the sound.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, it's
I mean,
great. So
social-
this is in a club room though. Like a smaller rooms are easier for me to tape in.
Well, it's for social media, and it's also for our security. In case
Right.
there's some sort of problem, you can go, hey, man, here's the tape.
Right. So, but I tape. I'm up. I got about. But they're called Jokes in the Water. In fact, there's 100 and something of them. But it's almost all crowd work. It's almost 99% crowd work.
Damn.
I basically tape a whole show, watch the show, log it, and I'll pull out a section I think I can use. It's 1 to 3 minutes. I'll put it up, and it's always me talking to somebody in the crowd. And there's so many that I'm going to try this, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I just put them all on a USB card with a folder and a thing, and I got it all approved. And so starting next week, I'm going to start selling it on ships, where it's just called Jokes in the
Super
Water.
smart.
And I go, and at the end of the show, I'll pitch it and go, hey, I do a lot of crowd work tonight, and I'll give one away. I go, that's for you. I go, that's a USB, which, by the way, is crowd work. I tape all the shows. A lot of it ends up on the YouTube. A lot of it ends up here. So see if they move. So I'm going to try to sell that.
It's a great idea.
We'll see. I mean, everything. I was selling CDs.
Merch, man.
I know.
It's all about merch.
The CDs I sold like crazy. I have download cards now. They don't sell as much. You know.
No, I think people don't trust them.
People like a thing. That's why I got this folder where it's got a picture and a place for me to sign it and all kinds of stuff. So
They want a physical thing. Rich Scheidner posted that. Well, he posts videos every day of the history of comedy. But
Sure,
one
yeah,
of them
I'm
was,
watching that, yeah.
forget his name, but it was an 80s comic, and he sold these like googly eyes.
Yeah.
Do you know the guy I'm talking about? There were these weird eyes. He'd clip them to and he had a bit about them at the end of his show, and he'd sell them for like $5. But he moved a ton. He was the merch man.
Right.
And somebody in the audience is like, I could buy those for 30 cents. And I guess he fucking snapped. And he's like, you know what? Those googly eyes, whatever they're called, those googly eyes, I sold $60,000 worth of those things. And he shut the guy up. But in the audience that night is an IRS agent, and he gets audited.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Rich Eisner posted the video of the story. It's wild, and he got fucked huge. And he's like, but typical comic. He's like, but I shut the guy up. Right?
Even
Like-
after,
like,
I got on
it's
it.
the
But
vid-
I shut that guy up.
Shut that fucker up, like, because that's all you want. You know?
Yeah,
This
right.
is life's victory,
Yeah.
not the
I'll
audit.
show you.
I'll show you as I'm penniless.
Instead of signing a check over.
God. Oh, what are you gonna do? The one thing about stand-up is like, boy, what a colorful cast of characters we work with.
Yeah.
No one's boring.
Right,
Everyone's
right.
got some crazy story.
Right.
It's endlessly entertaining to me.
I love, this is why I like doing the pod. Every entertainer, I think, is a little, like I've been reading something earlier. I'm pretty sure this has been coming out lately, ADHD. Like I'm
A lot of
convinced
comics are
every
ADHD.
comic is ADHD because you read
We're
a
on the
bunch.
spectrum of in some way.
Right, I believe so. I think so. And a lot of stuff I was reading, I'm like, oh shit, that's me. The
The ones who are like, I had a normal upbringing and I'm normal. I'm like, then you're a fucking weak act.
yeah.
For sure.
Well, Seinfeld was normal growing up, right?
He's a fucking wingnut. Do you know that story about him with the money? I won't say the comic. The comic could be me. The comic could be anybody.
Okay.
But I'm just going to tell you the story of
Tell me the
what
story.
So it's at the Cleveland Improv. I can see it in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
As if it were me there.
He is if it was me there.
And the comic opens for him, comes back, and then it comes time to get paid. And so, the opener gets his meager $800 or whatever, and then Seinfeld gets his gangster wad of cash.
Sure.
Right? like this.
Right.
And he takes the gangster wad of cash and points at the young comic and goes, "That's what's out there, kid. Go get it." And it puts it in his pocket and walks away. What a fucking douchebag move that is. But the flip side of that is,
Yeah.
coming into Canada is another legendary Seinfeld. So I go out of douchebag, but here's I respect the comic so much in this. He arrives in Canada at the border, at the Niagara Falls border. Border guard's like, need to see your contract. I guess he's working the Niagara Falls casino.
Right.
Or perhaps the Yuck Yucks. I don't know. Shows the guy the contract, and the border guard goes, "Oh, my God, you're making $250,000 tonight?" And Seinfeld goes, "Yeah, but I got to do a whole hour."
Probably annoyed.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
but I
now
gotta
you're
do
the
a
king.
whole hour.
I got to do a whole hour. Like, yeah, now you're the king again. You're an asshole, but you're the king again. What am I going to do with this?
Well, that's why I never.
Everybody got a Seinfeld story. What are you going to do?
I don't really have a Seinfeld story. I know I have another story when it comes to money. Like, did you ever see the movie? Did you ever see the movie about Ray Charles, the Jamie Foxx movie?
Yeah, fantastic film.
Okay. Well, is the scene in the movie? There's a scene. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's in the movie because I don't remember. I haven't seen the movie in a while. But there's a story about Ray Charles that was going to go do a show, and the place is packed and everything's ready. They already paid him. He's ready to go, and he's getting ready to go on stage. And right before he goes on stage, he looks at the promoter or the producer and goes, "I need another $5,000." And the guy goes, "What?" He goes, "I need another $5,000." He goes, "We're all set. We're ready." He goes, "I know. I need another $5,000." And when you watch that movie, you kind of, when I first heard the story, you go, "What a shitty thing to do." But then when you watch the movie, you go, "Oh, I don't blame him at all. Why would you?"
That's either an homage to the famous James Brown story of the Encore, or
Maybe
came
muddled
first.
down.
Do you know the James Brown story?
No, what's that story?
James Brown finishes the show, goes back to the dressing room. They're like, "Encore, encore!" They're screaming. They want more James Brown, but he's locked the dressing room door. So the promoter's like, he's banging on the door, and he's like, "James, they want more. You come out." And James Brown goes, "Keep putting $100 bills under the door. I'll come out when it's enough."
Really? That's a pretty good story.
I'm like,
I like
fuck
that.
yeah. And then I love those type of. And then Herb Reed from the Platters.
I love that because you could give a bunch of money and he still wouldn't come out.
I'll just keep waiting to keep bringing it. But of course, James Brown came out.
Of course, yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So did you know Herb Reed from the Platters?
No.
You never were a Royal act, I guess, right?
No, I didn't.
So he worked Royal Caribbean, and so I was very young, lucky to meet him because I didn't really know who the Platters. I was so young, in fact, didn't know the Platters, but I'm hanging out with him, and he had signing privileges, so you get drinks. Excuse me, and he was the one who told me about the Chitlin circuit, which I had.
Oh, I heard of the
Never
Chitlin
heard of
circuit.
Yeah, the all black circuit.
Sure. Well, Chicago had a lot of that vibe on the South Side, and some of those guys worked that circuit.
Yeah, and that circuit extended from like New York.
Yeah.
All the way upstate across to Chicago. Across to Chicago and down.
Yeah.
So, but they would regularly not get paid because it would be a white douchebag owner who
Owner
just
that would
wouldn't
just
pay
like,
them.
"Fuck you, go. What do
and
you do?"
I guess So, again, this is Herb Reed telling the story. Could have been somebody else, but I just love the story.
Sure.
But the story, it doesn't get paid. He's pissed off. I guess he's finally had enough of this racist bullshit. So he, in an envelope, a letter, and it says, next time it's coming out of a gun, and there's a bullet in it, and he gives it to the fucking guy, sends it to him, and the next thing you know, the money shows up. And I'm like, fuck, that's baller.
That's a pretty good story.
If it wasn't Herb, if it was whoever it was that did that, I'm like, that's badass.
Right.
Because they got, if you were black, you got screwed.
You guys got screwed.
And still to this day, I feel, still to this day, there's a lot of that, I think.
Well, you know the old, the Sinatra story in Vegas.
No.
Sinatra broke the barrier in Vegas for the blacks to entertain on the Strip and to give because they gave Sammy.
Yes, but the racism for Sammy extended to his death. They didn't dim the lights in Vegas for Sammy. Every other one of the Rat Pack, but not Sammy Davis Jr. He's the only one of the Rat Pack they did not dim the lights for.
I didn't know that.
And I went, okay, now I see
shitty.
That's in your face,
yeah.
Racism. But yeah, I didn't know that he broke that barrier, Sinatra.
Well, he broke it not just for Samuel, but the other black musicians and performers. They had to come in through the back door and not be able to eat, all these other things. And Frank said, no, this is bullshit. He made a lot of changes. At least that's the story I had heard. That Frank made a lot of changes for the black entertainers in Vegas.
In our lifetime, think about the changes. Like when we first started, I don't know about where you started, but there was comedy rooms, but they were in gay bars.
Right.
But that was illegal in Toronto. Like, you'd work a gay bar. I'm not gay, but I would work the gay bar. I'm an ally of that community, and many of my friends are gay, and I'm happy to work for them. But they would say, okay, if the place gets raided, grab your shit, you're going out the back. It was a big deal that you could get raided just for...
Oh, because you get arrested for being in a gay bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Bathhouses were often... And this is only the 1990s.
Yeah, right. It's not that... We're not that far removed from some
Not
shit.
really, like 30 years back. So when people are like, why do we need pride? Why do we need... Well, because in my fucking lifetime... It was in Toronto, anyways, in Canada. It was illegal to be married. You didn't get access to your partner's fucking pension or benefits, and you could regularly get fucked up in a gay bar.
Yeah,
and I was just trying to work.
Right. Yeah, I was just trying to.
I was just stage time. So yeah, like progress is made, which is good, but not enough progress. Never going to be enough.
Right.
Too much institutionalized shit.
Right.
So we just got to take the privilege and see what you can do with it. That's all you can do. But,
I don't understand Pride Month, though. You need a whole month to get... Well, they give a month to everybody now, it seems like. It seems like that's their...
Here's the line I love.
That's their way to get...
Where's the White Pride Month? Every other fucking month. Every other month. Where's the White Pride Month? Sorry if I offended anybody. I got a lot of gay friends, and so I defend them wildly.
No, I have a lot of gay friends, too. Well, on ships. There's a ton of gay friends on ships. That's where most of my friends are.
I spend so much time on ships by myself, I'm going to turn gay just to get laid. I have no choice.
It's the only way.
You were at the show where I go, I talk about Copperfield, and I'm like, he was my big hero, and then I found out I could not be like my hero Copperfield because I'm not sexy like David Copperfield. And it always gets a laugh. It usually gets a laugh from like the hottest chick in the front. They laugh.
Right.
And I go, no, it's okay, ma'am. It's okay to laugh. I know I'm a hideous chud. So maybe like 3 months ago, a guy comes up to me and he goes, I love the fact that you referenced Clerks 2. And I'm like, oh my God, because hideous chud is from Clerks 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, my life is complete. I love it when that kind of thing happens. But I am a hideous chud. What are you going to do? I'm very lucky. My girlfriend is like super hot and all this stuff, but like she's crazy.
Yeah.
But she's super hot. I'm lucky she takes on the hideous chud. It's a project. I'm a project.
You're her project?
I think so.
Is this the girl
we're
that
each
lives
other's
in your
project.
building in the basement?
The what?
Is this the one that lives in the basement?
No, that's the
ex.
other project. That's the ex.
Okay.
That's a fucking...
Okay.
That's a deep yawning chasm of trouble.
Well, that's years of integrated drama and...
If there's a way for me to fuck up, I can find it.
Sure. Okay.
It's actually my superpower. It's my superpower. So bad, in fact.
Are you a Avenger? Are you an Avenger?
Oh yeah. Whenever I meet a
interview,
whenever I meet a chick, I hear people. I just hear in my back here, "Avengers Assemble."
Yeah, you
right.
Show up.
It was so bad.
Captain Fuck Up.
A fucking graphic designer friend of mine. This is in the day of Blackberries, if you can imagine.
I used to have one. I was addicted to those
Me
things.
too. I love the
Yeah.
Blackberry. But she makes me a screensaver for the Blackberry, and it says, "Don't stick it in crazy." She's like, "It needs to be in your face. Because
Every day.
every one of yours is crazy. And I'm like, no. But it turns out the only people who find me attractive
Are crazy.
except for this new one. Well, no, she's fucking crazy too. I'll send her a clip of this right now, and she will admit she is crazy.
See, I used to do that, and when I got divorced, I went to therapy, and I dated a little bit, but I was mostly on ships after I got divorced. But I got away from crazy.
You can't be sleeping with anybody on a ship, though. You lose your job.
Not it used to be crew members. You're okay. It still is.
Not
crew
now.
members.
I don't think so.
Well, not for us now because we're guests.
The chick I'm dating now, she always is like, there must be lots of sex going on with crew members. I'm like, I don't hear of it.
Yeah.
I never. And she thinks I'm bullshitting. She thinks I'm like trying to cover for my own.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as people think it is.
No, it's not. It's very risky.
It's like
cameras are everywhere.
For them, though, it's a small community, and they're here for 8 months at a time.
Yeah, we're there for a week at a
time. So they've established relationships and all this other stuff. So it's not like they're all fucking for 8 months. They usually get into a relationship for 8 months, and they're with the same one person.
And then they break up or something. I can see that.
That happens
I can
quite a
buy
bit.
that.
Some have moved on and gotten married. Some have moved to other ships. But a lot of them go their separate ways and just get into
There's something crazy.
And they're all younger, dude. They're all in their 20s. Most of
I'm
them are
50, and I'm a hideous chud. Nobody wants me.
You say that a lot. You should put that on a card.
It's actually on my promotional material.
Is it really?
Hideous chud. Former physics graduate and hideous chud.
Hideous chud.
Check this. So I'm on a ship, and it's a royal ship.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I think I know this bartender. I'm walking by, and I'm going to get a martini anyways. And I'm like, I know you. Turns out, yeah, I know her. I've seen her. She was on the very first ship I was ever on, the Monarch. 25 years. She's worked for 25 years. She's been on the same cruise line.
Wow.
And she does 7-month contracts. And she's like, I see you. She goes, you may not remember, but I see you getting for a while you were a wine guy. Now you're a martini. I'm like, yeah, I was a wine guy. And then I switched to martinis, but I stopped drinking wine for a while because my ex was an addict. Blah, blah. And I'm like, and she's like, I remember you. I'm like, you've been on 7 months a year for over 20 years, 25 years. She's like, yep. I go, you going to retire? Nope. I love the life.
Wow.
And I'm like, do you have a boyfriend on board? Like, I wasn't trying to hit on her or nothing.
Right.
I was genuinely asking. And she goes, I have a boyfriend at home in Trinidad. I'm like, which you see 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 months a year?
Yeah.
Yep. Works fine. We are a different breed, anybody who works ships.
Well, if you also, a lot of people do the open relationship then. You know?
The open relationship is trouble.
It can't, I don't know, I've been in it I've done a lot of some of them. It's not bad. But I guess it depends. I know a lot of people swear by it and been doing it for years.
I have friends that were in open. Matter of fact, they went to Club Hedonism. They went to, for their honeymoon.
Right.
And I was very jealous of them because they had a very strong relationship for about 12 years.
Right.
And I was like, holy fuck, it's doable. Because my position was always there's a chink in the armor.
Right.
Are we allowed to say that anymore? Is that,
Yeah, you can't.
Chink in the armor, is
Chink
that
in
racist?
the armor is not racist. Chink in the armor is an actual divot
Yeah.
in an armor.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
an actual.
But the word
that's
chink.
what a real chink is.
There's a
Right?
trick in magic called chink-a-chink.
Okay.
And it's
that
I
sounds
did it in
racist.
my show with the 4 coins that move.
Okay.
And they say that's racist. So.
That sounds racist. Chink in the armor doesn't.
Okay.
Chink
Anyway,
and chink. I don't know.
There's always a chink in the armor in the open relationship, and sure enough, but I thought they had beat it. I'm like, holy fuck! Well, if they beat it, man, somebody else.
Someone else can do it.
And one night at the Swingers Club, one little thing happened. Relationship was over, destroyed everything. It never works long term.
What was the one thing that happened? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know if I should say it on a podcast, but
I can always
Tough to
edit
look.
it out afterwards.
yeah, I guess that's true. She was nuts about getting pregnant, but they were married for a decade, condom.
Right.
And then he looks over and, somebody's fucking his wife. No problem because they're in the lifestyle. This guy's like, I want to take the condom off. And she's like, okay. He takes the condom off. So now the first person to fuck his wife without a condom.
Okay.
And then he loses his mind. But
Okay.
the first person to fuck his wife after they got married was not him. It
Right.
was the guy they met on the plane. But see what I'm saying? I'm not saying the condom
Well,
thing is
everybody's
small,
got their
but
own
it's-
little moral thing in their head, and I guess that was it.
There was one thing. That's my point. There's always one thing. The one I'm with now, I feel like I could swing that in that life. I could swing the left, but there will be something that would fuck us both up, and so it's
Right.
not worth it. She would disagree with me, but I know it to be true.
Well, Diane and
We're
I
complicated people.
We've talked about it, but we're early in our relationship, so I don't want to just jump.
You don't
into
want to
that.
destroy that right out of the gate.
Yeah, things are going good right now, so we're just moving in. Well, you know who Roman Murray is? He's a comic out of U.S. Very funny dude. One of the funniest guys I've ever met, honestly. I think
Really?
he's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. He's a great joke writer. He works on his act. He's always got new material. He's always doing something. He does a brilliant bit about swingers clubs. That is just, it's so
Perfectly real, probably.
dude. It's so great. It's like he's talking.
I've worked
about,
a lot of
He goes,
swingers
I couldn't do
clubs.
that, man. I couldn't be in a swinger club. And I'm going to mess it up. He goes, I couldn't be in one room looking at my wife, just looking at her, going, she don't like that, man. Tell him you don't like that, baby. Baby, tell him you don't like it. It's just a whole, he drags it out.
That's
And he's
funny.
brilliant. He's a brilliant comic.
The problem is, it's a little too much attention to the wrong person or something. It's humans are full of insecurities.
Sure.
It's a mess.
Well, ego,
I'd much
man.
rather
Ego's still
the Dom sub dynamic I get. I like that much better.
They're setting this place up for some sort of magic show or something.
That does look like a magic show table, doesn't it? If there's some fucking magician come in here, what for doing my material? That's the end of it.
Dude, I want to see a guy pull out a rubber chicken.
Like,
Will be the greatest
I will.
moment.
Do you know? So, I did that thing with the underwear on Penn and Teller Fool Us,
Yes.
and I would say probably twice a month I get a magician either calling me or emailing me going, "Can I do that bit? Is it for sale anywhere?"
Right.
And I go, well, psychometry is a very old thing, which used to be, 5 objects were given to people, and the magician would know what the 5 objects belonged to, who had them.
Right.
But to change it to the underwear and the blocking and the lines, they want it all, and they just think it was on TV, so it's a supermarket.
Sure, right.
And it makes me wonder, those are the people polite enough to ask.
Yeah. How many
many
are
are
just doing
not?
it? They're just doing it.
Yoink,
Yep.
yoink, because it's
There's, especially
the
on
method
the
is
ship.
not the method is not complex.
There's a lot of people on our ship. They're because they think nobody's paying attention, or you know what I mean.
The blocking of it is such too. Like you didn't see it a lot. 5 people up on stage, and I go, if I name the color of your underwear, please return to your seat now. And I take a step down stage, which is an applause cue. Boom, they get up. It's nice.
Right.
And you didn't see that a lot. And then after Fool Us, I was like, people started it, and then all of a sudden the number was 5. 5 people seem to always be on stage with these guys, and I'm like, so. People ask about the blocking a lot. They're like, can I do that? And I go, you know what? It's not mine. It's David Ben's. And David is a Toronto magician who's like a pit bull for this kind of stuff.
Right.
So it is David's from his tossed out deck routine. And he gifted me the idea of walking down the stage. And he's like, this is how you block it. Make a small thing play big.
Right.
And so I just go, it's David Ben's. You want it? Go after David. You deal with the wrath of Lord Ben. I have a lot of respect for David. He's one of the few magicians I've ever seen who could take very small things and make them play to huge theaters because he understands lighting and blocking.
Right.
It's such a huge thing. Magicians don't always get it. And,
Well, people are starting to. We were talking about this a little bit the other day, right? With more guys using camera work on stage.
I don't know. As you saw, I don't really know how to use the camera very well. I haven't
Well, you
figured it out.
did the other night. You did a close up.
Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to use it effectively. I haven't mastered the camera. I haven't,
right.
But I will eventually. I'm still.
Sure.
That's only the 3rd time I think I've ever done it.
Really? Oh, well, good job.
So I was also, I was a little drunk maybe. A little
for that one?
For that
Okay.
one, I've been a little. I was drinking in the day, anyways.
Okay.
I wasn't up to speed. We'll see how it goes next week.
Right.
But I'm learning. Like there's.
Oh, that's right. That was a late show, right?
That was the late show,
Oh, that's
10:15.
why.
So for me,
I
that's
was just
like
gonna
3 in
say-
the morning or some shit.
Well, you weren't drinking at the 7:00 show because
No,
I
7
met
and
you
9.
at 5.
Those
You
ones
got
I-
on the ship.
The 7 and 9. Although if you notice, I think the 9 o'clock show I find because I'm on day 1.
Yeah.
So I just flown in and I had to fly in the red eye. Man, that time zone thing. Like I was not at the 9 o'clock show. I was getting tired. I bet. I felt sluggish on stage. I felt like
plus
I was,
after traveling all day because you don't have a chance to sleep all night.
and then you try and hide it, but I think it's unavoidable. Like you in the audience probably look at it and go, he seems sluggish.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do? But the audience was fine and it's a great show and happy with it.
I
think the
thought
check
that
will
was your
clear.
style. Maybe his style is.
His style is
pretend like he's
slightly
sleepy.
exhausted,
Slightly
and,
exhausted and sleepy.
and hungover. That's not
So
bad.
original.
That's so. Nobody does that.
That's a twist.
Nobody
All right,
does
man.
that.
Well, this camera's about to run out of battery, so
Wow,
I
okay.
timed this perfectly.
Wow.
dude. First of all, thanks for doing this.
No, of
We
course.
just sat around and drank. It was good.
Sat around drinking.
Only cost you 1 cigarette, maybe. Go right to the camera. Plug whatever you want to plug. Whatever you got going on.
I don't really have much going on. Instagram and Facebook at Matt Disero, Discro, Matt MATT. I don't have much to plug. I work ships, so come on Celebrity, come on Royal Caribbean. Happy to see you, and yeah, you should really follow him. He has things to plug.
I do things. All
I
right.
don't have anything. Thanks for having me.
Thank you
though.
for being here. Thank you, brother. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of course.
You're still watching? That's amazing. Nobody does that. Nobody, but you did. That means you want more. Pick one of these clips. Go for it. I dare you. Hey, also follow one of those social media thingies.